Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to please take your seats at this time as we're going to begin services in a moment. Thank you.
You know, that's what I need, I think. I know you don't want to just keep hearing my sniffling, so. But you're going to have to, I think. For those of you who don't know me, I can't get to the first damn sentence.
Take your time, brother.
Sorry.
Take your time.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the middle brother, Dick, also known as the family favorite. And those of you that really know me know that's the truth. I'd like to start, and it's large font, like 8, so it's not as bad as it looks. But Michael assured me we have the chapel till Wednesday at 8 p.m. So please get comfortable in these seats. So I'd like to start. I'm going to recite, and anybody's welcome to join along if they know it, but Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still water. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, thy comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Turning one so you know. Okay. You thought I was joking about Wednesday. Is that rain or the AC? That's Doug. That's Doug. That's definitely Doug. Right? Ever since I came into town, it's been not a drop of rain. This is Doug. It's never the right time. It's never a good time. And it surely isn't fair. But Doug was taken way too early. Just starting really to enjoy his retirement. Sorry, people from Progressive. And being able to enjoy everything he wanted on his own schedule. Looking forward to finally putting the whole foot issue behind him and regaining his total freedom. We'd always joke about the fact, I would call it to him, because he would ask me at times, I always called it the R word. And I said, I'll never realize what that R word is. I have twin daughters. I can still remember him telling me about a girl he started to date almost 20 years ago. All right, I'll fill in the word Lori. Yeah, it was Lori, of course. Weeks went by, months went by. I know I was shocked. Then years went by, even more shock. And their bond, though, continued and strengthened. And I was always so happy for him because he had met such a special young woman. And the influence and impact she had had on his life was extraordinary. She brought so much happiness to Doug. She put an extra bounce in his step that every time I spoke to him, I could hear and feel. I could hear it in his voice. She is truly an amazing young woman. And I know for me and I know for my family, we cannot thank her enough that they got together 20 years ago. Thank you. That being said, we all know Doug. We all know his rituals, his stubbornness, his competitiveness. We all want to ask the same question, though. How did you make it 20 years? And what's wrong with you? Right, you saw the picture of Mary Poppins, so. And the other day, she didn't stop pulling stuff out of a bag, and I called her Mary Poppins. And not really up until recently, unfortunately under the circumstances, getting to know the Fishers and the entire family. I understand it didn't take but 30 seconds to walk into their house, see and feel the love, and understand why he loved them so much. And always talked about the times together with them and why he wanted to spend time with them. I truly understand it. It's a terrific family. Really, really. We rarely had a conversation where the family and family events and something he wasn't coming to or just came from were not discussed. I know how much he meant to you, but I want you to, how much you meant to him. See, it's starting to rain harder as I talk about the Fishers. It's him. This is, oh my God. This is freaky. I told you he would be here. He's here. In Hebrew, there's a phrase, the Shema Tovah. It means a good soul, a good person. He truly was a good soul in every sense of the word. He was kind. He was warm. He was generous. He was a good-hearted person. He had moral goodness and purity. That is the true meaning. The Shema Tovah. As far as a big brother to me, wow. From the days when we were little in Parma Heights, Ohio, where we grew up, to where we were in the same bedroom with bunk beds, he was a true big brother to me. Then when we made the move to Mayfield Village in 1968, and moved to the wonderful Hunt Circle, which had such a 6 degrees of separation, that also is scary. It really is, but it's so special that, you know, he not only became a big brother to us, but he also became at that time a father figure for us. Always looking out for me, protecting me, and being a best friend. As we grew older, nothing changed. That bond only grew. His friends, many of which are here today, became my friends in middle school, then in high school, always including me with that group. He regularly included me in that circle of friends and asked me to participate, whether it was baseball games in the street, baseball games at a nearby field, basketball games on the driveway, hockey games in the basement. For those of you that remember those, they were brutal. Brutal. And the pillars were tough, but I appreciate everybody, right? But all those games, the soccer games, you name it, you get the idea. That was Doug. And that was my relationship with Doug. Never left me out of anything. And I'll never forget my senior year of football at Mayfield High School. He was, I always like to say he was like 15 years older, but he was only 2 years older than me. And I'll never forget my senior year, him driving home on Friday nights from Columbus with many of those friends, those same friends, and coming to all of my games. He and his friends, they would sit together in one section of the stadium, and I'd have my own cheering section. And it meant so much to me. And then the best parts, win or lose, mostly lose, my senior year. After the game, heading over to La Rich's Pizza and just staying there and talking. He was never worried about when and having to get back to Columbus or anything. That was Doug. My big brother. I went off to Ohio State, nothing changed. I had visited there many times when he was there before me. And besides the roommates that I was going to know and others attending Ohio State from the area, I already had a built-in network of friends thanks to him. And it helped me make that transition to Columbus. We even lived together. Oh, talk about Felix and Oscar. Which now the Fisher family pretty much knows. But we lived together for a couple of years. And again, I'm just glad I have those memories. But Lori, oh, it stopped raining right now. What I want you to know, though, his love and expertise for cooking did not start when we were roommates. When we were roommates, dinner, if we were lucky enough, consisted of walking down the street to Tommy's Subs. And when we really wanted to splurge, the Varsity Club. There were no pots of chili. There were no ribs. There were, oh my God, I can't go into everything, but it became a passion of his. Especially with all the wrecking crew and the tailgating. But yeah, I never witnessed any of that until much later. But I do remember and cherish all the times also that the three of us, myself and Steve and Doug, had it growing up. The vacations, the holidays, the game nights with the Coladas and everybody else. Sometimes 24-hour marathons, right? Risk marathons, euchre, everything. Football games in the backyard in the fall where we would, build these huge leaf piles and goal lines into that and then jumping into them. Then when the winter came, we'd take our games and we moved them into the front yard. And sometimes it was the three of us. It became I don't know if you remember this, right? Our New Year's Eve tradition, right? Back then, kids, I know, believe it or not, there wasn't always a party to go to, and we were maybe whatever. But yeah, we would stay home on New Year's Eve with Mom, and we would play football, the three of us. Don't ask how, the three of us, but we made it work. We made it work. These are the memories that I'm going to cherish and will remember forever. And of course, one of our favorite pastimes was being the big brother that he was, and I was also a big brother, meant that, it was just an inherent thing that unfortunately Steve, my little brother, and he's always going to be known as my little brother, that meant that we would torment him whenever and as often as possible. And we did. And I don't apologize. I still do it to this day, because he will always be my little brother, who's older than me. You see, I have a problem with age. We like to believe, though, truly, Steve, that all that tormenting, that it helped him be the successful person that he is today. So, Felicia and Jake, I'm sorry that we didn't torment him more. Make him a little more successful. But he's always going to be a huge part of my life. That's not going to ever change. And that's not stopping now. Always being there for me, whenever and whatever I needed. A phone call or a drive away, whether it was 7 or 8 hours. He was also a wonderful uncle to my twin daughters. And we were talking about this the other night. My twins, Kitty and Morgan. One of their favorite memories of Uncle Doug was when they were so little and we stayed at the house when my mom was still alive. And each and every morning they would come downstairs and he would have made them toasted bagels with butter and Munster cheese. God knows how they're still alive today. But that was just one that was really special and dear to them that we talked about before I left the other day. And there's so many other memories of him as an uncle as well. And that one stuck out. It was great, too, that Doug and Lori were able to come in 2023 for my daughter Katie's wedding. It was great. Right? Yeah, but what made it great is you were there. You were there. Boy, Doug would really, really be happy to see all of you here. Well, Pat, he might have to look the other way for a bit. Pat should be the one sitting. Actually, I have to wait for the rain to start, and then you can go outdoors. Pat, he is okay. He's, again, it seems like I've known you for months, years, whatever at this point, but he's the one wearing the Michigan shirt. Getting. Oh, come on, let's give him a break. I asked Doug. He gave me the okay. He gave me the okay. He grunted, as right, we know he can do, right? But he gave the okay. So this is the hard part, really, to believe that I didn't even know they offered PhD programs up there. So I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. But you're going to transfer, right? All right. Well, I still have a long time to work on that. Okay. Is it Tuesday yet? Doug's going to be very happy to see all of you here. And thank you, and want to thank you for helping us celebrate his life, because that's really why we're here and why we're doing what we're doing afterwards, which is celebrating his life. There's so much more to him than just this. But as I was told, there are a few other people who do want to speak today. So I will not say goodbye. I won't. To my big brother. But only hope that I can continue to live up to his standards and keep living the way he wanted me to. I'm paraphrasing a quote by Ryan Day where he talks about winning football at Ohio State, but he goes on and he talks the part about, but you want to have a bigger impact than that when you're done. You want to leave a legacy behind. You want to make change. Well, Doug, you truly had an impact on all of us. And you are leaving a huge, huge legacy behind. And how we honor him is by continuing to live that legacy. please, 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 I'm asking all of you to do that. You know, we all go through this. We've all been through these, and after days and weeks and months, however long it takes people to get through the morning, we kind of go back because I get it. It's life goes on. But as a part of your life, please, please remember his legacy. And maybe we get through this. We all should be able to find comfort somehow in knowing that he touched so many people, and so many people loved him as much. I need another box. I miss you so much, Doug, already. I hear you. He's telling me to shut the hell up and let somebody else speak before they pull me off. I hear you. I love you. And I promise to continue to celebrate your life each and every day. I know I will always have a big brother on many occasions. I know you always think I'm just about done. I am. I promise. Many of our occasions on phone calls, almost every phone call really, it would always end with him telling me, throwing out a number. And took me about the first time he threw out the number for me to guess it, because he said that, what is that? I said, how many days till opening day? Doug, 20. With that, I want to call up my little brother Steve to say only a few words because I took up most of his time and everybody else's time. So Steve, come on up. Okay.
Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Steve.
You can wait till I sit down. I wasn't joking about the Wednesday. You understand why we told him this. It's not like he didn't deserve it. We didn't script this. This is Steve. Oh, this was the favorite.
May I begin?
Okay.
I'm Steve. I'm Doug's youngest brother. I'm here with Felicia and Jake, my daughter and son, who came up from D.C. My wife Raquel's in Germany. She couldn't make it, but she sends her love. If you knew Doug, you knew pretty quickly where you stood with him. Doug lived his life the way he wanted to live it. He was his own man. He didn't spend much time worrying about what other people thought of him. And he certainly didn't have much patience for people who spent too much time worrying about what others thought of them. If someone deserved to have the BS flag thrown at them, Doug had absolutely no hesitation about throwing it, often in my direction. But there was another there was another side of Doug. And you've heard a little bit about this already from Dick. But for me, Doug was more than my older brother. Growing up without a father, Doug and my other brother, Dick, became father figures to me. And Doug took that responsibility seriously. Just a couple weeks ago, Doug sent me a happy birthday text. I just hit 65. And he put Dick on there too, and Dick chimed in too in German, no less. I replied with a sincere thank you, telling him that he and my other brother, Dick, set me up for whatever success I've been able to enjoy. By raising me the right way. There were many things that Doug instilled in me that will stay with me. Doug taught me discipline, he taught me to work hard, and he taught me not to make excuses. Doug couldn't stand it when I was young and I would get lazy or cop an attitude. I still remember one particular lesson when I was young. I was sitting on the couch, and apparently there was something more productive I was supposed to be doing. Doug decided it was time for me to get moving, and he proceeded to fling me off the couch like a rag doll. I learned an important lesson that day, to be a moving target around Doug. When I was in high school, he put together an early morning workout regimen for me. And here's the amazing thing. I'm still doing parts of that workout today, 50 years later. And I've passed it on to Jake and Felicia. When we used to work out together in our basement in our house in Fairfax, Virginia, when they were kids. That's Doug's influence on me. He didn't just tell me how to live. He left things in me that stayed. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts any person can give to another. And when you needed him, you knew he'd be there, as he was countless times for my mom, Dick, and for me. And if you were one of the people he loved, family and friends, you knew it. And more importantly, you knew you could count on him. He'd have your back, always. Something I always appreciate about Doug was his amazing sense of humor. Speaking the past few days with longtime friends who grew up around Doug on our street in Mayfield, plus my two kids and others who spent years around Doug, what sticks in their memory is how much Doug made them laugh. I'm happy to share anecdotes later at the bar. Trust me, you will laugh too when you hear some of them. Doug also had a laugh that you couldn't miss. It was big. It was loud. It was completely Doug. You could hear that. You could hear that laugh throughout the house. And when Doug was laughing, you knew he was having a good time, as was everyone around him. I can still hear that laugh, and I suspect many of you here do as well. Doug also loved the things that brought people together. He loved Ohio State football. He loved tailgating with his Ohio State Mafia in Columbus. He loved getting friends and family together, firing up the charcoal grill, and enjoying good food and good company. Charcoal grill, never propane. I remember he called me on a Sunday, and I was on my deck getting ready to cook on my propane tank. And I told him that. I was like, oh, God, why did I tell him that? He paused for a few seconds and replied, well, Steve, I hope that skirt you're wearing looks really good on you. As much as Doug loved those things, what he really loved were his people. We know that was especially true when it came to Lori. I can't look at you right now or I'm going to lose it. The depth of Doug's love and devotion to Lori, plus Hannah, Annette, Bob, and the rest of Lori's clan was something special. You all took Doug in. You all took Doug in as one of your own and brought him so much joy They revealed in Doug just how much love there was underneath his tough exterior. And there were other glimpses of that softer Doug that might surprise people who only knew the tough, no-nonsense version of him, like dressing up as Santa Claus for Christmas parties. And some of you might have seen the photographic evidence if you saw the slideshow earlier. I'm guessing that wasn't the first image that came to mind when you thought of Doug, but that's exactly the point. There was much more to Doug than that tough exterior. He didn't brag, he didn't seek approval, he didn't care much about impressing people. He was comfortable being Doug. And for those of us fortunate enough to have known and loved him, that was a privilege. That's a Doug I will remember. That's a Doug I will remember. My brother, my father figure, my friend. Rest in peace, brother. I will always love you. Thank you.
All right, sit down. Part 2. No, I don't want you to leave. No, I do at this time. I want to call. What?
Oh.
Am I doing something wrong?
Call Carly up. It's okay.
Oh, you want to?
Go right ahead.
I
I know what's going on. Carly, go ahead.
stay there. So, at this time, I'd like to call up his niece, Carly, who's going to say a few words for us. Oh, she's up here, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. You okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Lori's here when you need her.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carly. I am Aunt Lori and Mr. H's niece, and I just wanted to come up here and speak on behalf of Aunt Lori and Hannah and our family. I want to share that Hannah wrote this for me to share with all of you. So I am Hannah's words. These are Hannah's words. I'm sharing them with all of you. So you may have known him by different names. Douglas, Doug, Hecker, but to me he was always Mr. H. Mr. H came into my life when I was so young that I don't recall a time before I met him. He was a boisterous man and fiercely loyal to anyone or anything he loved. At the top of his loyalties, you'd find 3 things: my name, my mom's name, and the Ohio State Buckeyes football team. Hopefully not in that order. Growing up, some of my earliest memories include hopping into the backseat of the truck, clad in a scarlet and gray cheerleading outfit, to go down to Columbus with my mom and Mr. H. We'd have a blast at the tailgate and eat some of the best food in Ohio, courtesy of Craig and Mr. H, behind the grill, before walking into the Ohio Stadium and rejoicing in a Buckeye win. When we weren't at the stadium, you would find us watching the Buckeyes from Mr. H's living room. My mom and I sitting on the couch while he lounged in his favorite recliner. These were the nights where foam bricks were thrown towards the refs, moaning bad calls on the TV, and where Mr. H taught me how to growl, growl at any and everything from the state up north. That drove my mom crazy, but it was all good fun. But he was so much more than a football fan. He was our family's grill master, and forever proud of the time that I told him that Mr. H burgers are the best. He was a snow day caretaker when my mom had to go to work, where I would repay him for his time by drawing him endless pictures to fill the fridge, one of which still sits magneted to the door today. He was a Christmas connoisseur, which is ironic, given his Jewish upbringing. Every December, he made sure to DVR Charlie Brown, Frosty the Snowman, and the Grinch so we could all come to his house and watch them together by the tree. Not to worry, though, he made sure to show his devout practice of Judaism by showing up to Grandma's house every Christmas Day with his presents wrapped in Hanukkah paper, which we learned earlier this week was from around 1970, 60, yeah. After being dressed as Santa Claus days earlier. If you know my family, you know one of our weaknesses is decision making. So Mr. H was also the unofficial chief of deciding what to do. Just one small part of his chiefly duties was deciding our next travel destination. His favorite places typically involved a beach with an all-inclusive bar where he could request another cerveza gracias, like our family trips to Mexico or his vacation with my mom and Aunt Patty to Antigua. But we have other fond memories of visiting Wrigley Field in Chicago, biking around D.C. with his brothers Steve and nephew Jake, and finding him enjoying relaxing the sights and sounds of the Rainforest Cafe after getting tired of us dragging him through all 4 Disney parks. He even took a recent trip to Ann Arbor to visit Carly and Pat at U of M, but we'll let him keep his secrets on whether or not he had a good time. I will be forever grateful that our family got to have one last trip with him to the Thousand Islands. He woke up every morning of that trip in my grandpa's old trailer, ready to seize the day, and ended each evening laughing with all of us, playing endless rounds of cards, games, Bud Light in hand. He found a new passion for captaining pontoon boats, with his co-captains, my mom and Aunt Patty, guiding him the way, though he probably wishes he could attempt docking after a couple of crashes. He truly became an irreplaceable member of our family. May he continue to be the guardian for all those he loved, family, friends, and those he didn't get the chance to meet. While none of us know what heaven is like, I hope that he found his mother, grandparents, and Robert, my grandpa, and our lucky puppy to keep him company. May he spend countless hours walking Caribbean beaches, driving pontoons, and enjoying Bud Light during OSU football season from the best seat in the shoe. Thank you.
So thank you, Hannah, for putting that down on paper for us. Oh, thank you. At this time, I want to call up Josh. So, who's a fisher somewhat, but Hannah's fiance, but he's a fisher. But say a few words.
I'm going to apologize ahead of time. My words are not going to be nearly as eloquent or put together as Hannah's or Dick's or Steve's were, but plenty of you I know may not know me. My name is Josh Mullinger. I have the very high privilege of being the boyfriend of Hannah, the just greatest honor of knowing both Lori and Doug. It's a lot harder for me than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie to you, so bear with me here. Mr. H was as good of a man as anyone could ever ask for. He was loyal, loving, and one of the best for anyone and everyone he ever met, whether it was the first time or he was seeing him for the 100th time. Since the first time that I met him, he welcomed me with open arms and made me feel more at home here than I ever could have imagined, especially in this place that's very brand new, foreign to me. I'm not from the Cleveland area. I just moved up here with Hannah about a month ago. So he, since I've known him, he's always made sure to include me in things, kind of teach me about the stuff that he knew up here, kind of show me around, just make me feel at home. He would, funny thing, he would always grill me. I played college football and I played football forever, and since he was such a big college football fan, he would grill me to death about the ins and outs of the game, whether it was he watched a play and wondered why the ball carrier went through this gap and didn't go this way instead, why they blocked a certain way. He wanted to know every little minute detail, and I was very happy to show him that and watch his face light up when he heard the different details that he may never have known ahead of time. As much of a good man Mr. H was, he was an even better man to Lori, Hannah, and the entire Fisher family. That is a mantle that he held very highly for himself, and is one that I'm hoping that I can take up and live up to him and be able to be the protector and the man of the house, if you will, that he was for Lori and Hannah. I hope it's something that I can even attempt to get close to what he did. We're all better people by knowing him, and day in and day out he reinforced that fact through his actions, his words, everything in between. The last thing I want to leave you with is talking directly to him. Doug, I miss you already. I hope that you and Bob are having the time of your lives up there. And that there's as much Bud Light and Buckeye reruns as you could ever ask for. Please save me a seat in the best seats in the house, brother. And go ahead and make a deal with the man upstairs to give us a natty this year. I know you sure as shit would want it, so let's make it happen. Godspeed, sir, till we meet again. I love you. That was great. Thank you.
There's no way they can make enough Bud Light quick enough. Doug, you might have to have a little something else. We do want to ask one more person to come up. And that's Doug Baker, who wanted to say a few words, wow, we go so far back. He's like a brother to us and so close with our family, going back 80s, maybe where's Doug? Where maybe the 70s? Oh, I couldn't remember if it was 89. Are you sure it wasn't before that? That was 89. Okay. So back from 89. So Doug, please.
When I was thinking of what to say about Doug today, I kept coming back to one word. That's brother. Doug was the son of Marilyn Hecker, and my connection to the Hecker family actually goes all the way back to 1989, when I had the privilege of doing my student teaching with Marilyn at Mayfield High School. I could never have imagined then that meeting Marilyn would eventually lead to a friendship with her son that would last for the next 37 years. But somewhere along the line, Doug stopped being simply Marilyn's son. He became my friend. And over the years, he became like a brother. In fact, Marilyn had her own way of describing the two of us. She would jokingly refer to me as the good Doug, and her own son as bad Doug. Now, I have to admit, I'm not entirely sure how Doug felt about that, but I always thought it was pretty funny. And I suppose if Marilyn was going to have two Dougs in her life, she needed some way to tell us apart. That's the kind of relationship we had. Comfortable enough to joke with each other, comfortable enough to laugh at ourselves, and comfortable enough to know that underneath all of it was a genuine friendship. 37 years is a long time to know someone, long enough to share a lot of laughs, a lot of stories, a lot of good times, and long enough to build the kind of friendship where you don't have to explain yourself. You just pick up where you left off. That was Doug. Doug was fiercely loyal. If you were his family, you were his family. If you were his friend, you were his friend. And if Doug cared about you, you knew it. He was the kind of person who showed up. He was there for the people he loved, and he didn't need recognition or applause for it. Loyalty was simply part of who he was. He had that ready smile, and somebody pointed out today, you always wondered what was going on beneath that smile of Doug Hecker, and that laugh that could change the mood in a room. Doug didn't have to be the center of attention to make people laugh. Sometimes all it took was a look, a comment, or that unmistakable Doug grin. And of course, there was one other thing that was a pretty big part of Doug's identity: Ohio State football. Doug wasn't just an Ohio State fan. He was an Ohio State football fan. There is a difference. Some of my favorite memories with Doug involve Ohio State football. I had the privilege of attending numerous games with him over the years, and those are memories I will always cherish. One of the most special trips was to the Peach Bowl a few years ago, despite that midnight loss to those Bulldogs. That trip wasn't just about the game, it was about being together in Atlanta. It was about the conversations, the laughs, the experience, and simply having the opportunity to share something with Doug. And then there were the trips to Columbus. Some of my favorite memories are actually the drives themselves. Doug and I would be heading to a game or heading home from Columbus. Somewhere along the way, the Ohio State fight songs would come on, and before long, we were singing them. Sometimes loudly, sometimes badly, but always enthusiastically. I'm pretty sure the people in the cars around us didn't appreciate our musical talents quite as much as we did, but we didn't care. Those were the moments, those are the memories that stay with you. Doug lived for Buckeye football, and he was already looking forward to the upcoming season, just 20 days away. I can't help but think about that. I know Doug was excited about this upcoming season, as he was with every season that I know. And I know that wherever he is, he's probably already got his schedule figured out. And if there's a football game being played somewhere, I'm pretty sure he found it. But Doug's connection to Ohio State football went far beyond watching the games. For years, he was one of the mainstays of the tailgate. And when I say tailgate, I'm not talking about showing up with a cooler and a bag of chips. Doug made breakfast for thousands of people through the years. That says something about Doug. He loved being around people. He loved feeding people. He loved being part of something bigger than himself. And I think that's one of the things I'm going to remember most about him. Doug made people feel like they belonged. He created memories. He brought people together. He was the guy you wanted to be around. And that's why his absence is going to be felt in so many places. It's going to be felt by his family. It's going to be felt by friends and all of you. It's going to be felt around that tailgate in 20 days. It's going to be felt when Ohio State takes the field in just a few weeks. And for me, it's going to be felt in all those ordinary moments when something happens and I instinctively think, I've got to tell Doug about that. That's the part about losing someone we love that is so difficult. It's not just the big moments, it's the little ones. The joke you want to share, the story you want to tell, the conversation you expect to have, that drive to Columbus, the ride home, the fight song that comes over the radio, the football game, the tailgate, the breakfast. And then suddenly you realize you can't share those moments with him anymore. Doug's life ended far too soon, and in a way none of us could have imagined. But I don't want today to be defined only by how Doug died. I want it to be defined by how Doug lived. He lived with loyalty. He lived with humor. He lived with the huge heart for his family and his friends. He lived with a smile. He lived with the love of Ohio State football. He lived by bringing people together, and he left behind something that all of us here share, memories of Doug. 37 years ago, I met a guy who was Marilyn Hecker's son. Somewhere along the way, he became one of my closest friends. He became family. He became my brother. I added another brother. I had 5 brothers, but he was another brother. I wish we had more time. Wish we had another football season, another trip to Columbus, another game, another tailgate, another breakfast, another drive home singing Buckeye fight songs at the top of our lungs, another laugh, another story, another chance to sit down, talk about absolutely nothing and everything. But I'm incredibly grateful for the 37 years we did have. I'm grateful for every game. I'm grateful for the Sugar Bowl and for the Peach Bowl. I'm grateful for every road trip, every laugh, every ridiculous Buckeye song we sang. And I'm especially grateful that somewhere along the way, Good Doug and Bad Doug became 2 friends who were really like brothers. Doug, I love you. I'll miss you more than you know. And when the Buckeyes take the field in 20 days, I'll be thinking about you. I'll probably hear one of those fight songs and likely will be singing along in the car, and I'll smile, because that's what I want to remember, not the tragedy, not the finality, but Doug, my friend, my brother, the guy with the ready smile, the guy who loved Lori, his brothers, and his family, the guy who loved his friends, the guy who loved Ohio State, and the guy who could make breakfast for half of Buckeye Nation. I have a feeling that wherever you are, Doug, you've already found the tailgate. And knowing you, breakfast is probably already being served. So save us a spot. We'll see you there someday. Until then, go Bucks. OH.
Just have to make sure I'm not missing any. For those of you who don't know me, no. I just got to make sure. So, yeah, we're going to do this now. The memorial prayer in Kaddish, or just the Kaddish? Just the Kaddish we're going to do. So in Hebrew. Oh, you want to? Yeah, we're going to do this. That's why I need help with it in Hebrew. But we're going to do it in Hebrew. So at this time, I'd like everybody to rise. We're going to do a prayer that we call the Mourner's Kaddish. So, Yikadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, Yalma, Divra, Kirsei, Yamlik, Te, Yechayim, Uchamakon, Uvakai, Kilbei, Yisrael, Kala, Uzman, Koriv, V'yemru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbo, Movarak La'olam, Mayo. Barach, V'yisrabach, V'yisrahar, V'yisramam, V'yisrasei, V'yishatar, V'yishalei, V'yishalal, Shemei Dekushu, Berichu Le'olam Min, Berkata, V'shirata, Tushbakata, V'nechamata, Da'amiran, V'yama, V'yimru, Amen. Yehi Shalema Rabbah, Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu, V'yal Yisrael, V'yemru, Amen. Osei Shalom b'mruvam, Uyasei Shalom, Aleinu v'chol Yisrael, V'yemru, Amen.
So can you read that in English?
No. So just stay standing here. In closing, in honor of Doug, we want you to visualize Doug and all of us in Ohio Stadium right now, and just singing the following songs. And I hope Brian heard that key. So Brian. Okay. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Brian. Doug, that is not funny. It didn't rain, so he had to do that. With a mighty cheer, run, run, run. Them hard and see how they fall. Never let that team get the ball. Hail, hail, the game's all here, so let's win that old conference now. Yeah, Ohio. Across the field, chosen Ohio. Said that team get the ball. Conference now. This one we're all going to know, and was dear to him as well.
Please.
Oh, come, let's sing Ohio's praise and songs to alma mater raise. While our hearts resounding thrill with joy which death alone can still. Summer's heat or winter's cold, the seasons pass, the years will roll. Time and change will surely show how firm my friendship.
Mike, do you have the? Go ahead. Do you have the address, just so I can? Okay. All right. So we've asked everybody, right, directly from here, family and friends. We invite you to his celebration, which is following the service, and it's at Panini's Barn Grill, which was a place near and dear to Doug, which is why we chose it. So please join us there. It's at 37333 Euclid Ave, Willoughby, Ohio. Don't ask me again. Google it. Put it into Waze. I will not answer you. Thank you. Thank you all. If you didn't know Doug that well before, you sure as hell got to know him well today. So, thank you. I can't say anymore.
Thank you. Oh, I have it. Michael, Brian came in. Yeah, so...
Those are